President Barack Obama's approval of the U.S. raid that killed Osama bin Laden stymies at central tenet of Republican campaigns for the White House. The Democrat can't pull the trigger. As he seeks re-election next year, Obama can claim a willingness to take military action, including authorizing attacks on pirates in the Indian Ocean, the firing of missiles on Libya, and most prominently, the successful mission that landed helicopters inside Pakistan in the compound of the world's most wanted fugitive. The fact that he got Osama bin Laden is something that's going to be a very quick and powerful talking point right after the 2012 election, said John Ulliott, the Republican strategist and former spokesman for the Senate Armed Service Committee. Given the success of the operation, President Obama has clear and undisputed credentials in the national security area. Ulliott said the specific praise of Obama by several of the Republicans considering a run shows they acknowledge how powerful this moment is. The May 1st attack was the highest profile military effort since the Iraq War, he said, and highlights the relative lack of foreign policy experience among the potential 2012 Republican candidates. There's very little defense or foreign policy experience among the field as it now stands, he said.
Thai Muslims are offended by U.S. disposal of Osama bin Laden's body at sea. After the U.S. has killed the most wanted fugitive on the U.S. list and buried him at sea, the advisor of the Young Muslim Association of Thailand, or YMAT, Abdullah Sistadian, said that what the U.S. has done to Osama bin Laden's body is a blatant human rights violation. Abdul said that the killing of bin Laden was also a violation of international law because the U.S. Special Forces launched the daring operation without informing Pakistan, the home country, in advance. Tadian said when dealing with this matter, the world needs to take into account whether it is just for the U.S. to just attack or take over any country for one reason or another. This concept can be heartbreaking for someone who works with human rights. The advisor of the YMAT said that the U.S. decision of having Osama bin Laden's burial at sea was a violation of Islamic tradition, because in accordance to the Islamic tradition, a funeral prayer must first be done by 3 Muslim relatives. Burial at sea can be done only if the body cannot be buried within 24 hours. The killing of Osama bin Laden can have a spiritual effect to the Thai Muslim in the southern provinces. Some feel that it was injustice because Osama bin Laden should have gone through the justice system, which is a social criteria when someone commits a crime. He or she must go through an investigation process, not just be murdered on the spot. While the U.S. stated that it would have preferred to have taken bin Laden into custody, he put up a struggle and was instead shot.
Well, last night we have talked to Dr. Chaiwat Satha Anand, Political Science Faculty of Thammasat University. We're going to go see what he has to say about this.
Main ideas about Islamic burial, I think there are 2 corners of belief. One is the natural state of things, and the other one is the temporal. By the natural, I mean that when you die, we expect our body to return to its natural state as fast as possible. So that's why, when Muslim die, what happens is that you have to bury the body within 24 hours. The other thing which is important is also the cleansing of the body. And so you clean the body, you have a prayer for the body, prayer for God to accept the soul, and then you bury the body within 24 hours. This is the the normal course of event that takes place.
Right.
Right.
Well, do you feel that many Muslims will be offended by the way the U.S. has disposed his body into the sea?
The problem is it allowed to dispose the body in the sea? Well, it is possible that you can dispose the body of a Muslim in the sea, provided that the person died in a ship, on board a ship or something like that. And there is no way in which you can bury the person on land. Because as I told you, there's the temporal dimension, which means you have to bury the body within 24 hours.
Right.
And so, if you cannot reach the land within those, constraints, then you can sort of return the body to the water, to the sea. But in this case, obviously, he died on land, and therefore one should try one's best to bury the body on land. So basis of criticism are there. For the way in which the body has been handled.
I see. So, Doctor, the U.S. gave two reasons for burying him at sea. First of all, one being that no country would take him within the allowed 24-hour period, and two being that they did not want to have a shrine erected in his honor at a burial site. In your opinion, are these a valid statement?
It's not valid on 2 points. The first is that, the military, the American military should try its best to ask or at least return the body to the family. That can be done too. And then it's up to the family to find a place where the body could be buried. And God's earth is quite wide, so you can certainly bury one person somewhere.
Right.
The second point, I think, is more important. They are afraid that he will become a symbol for other people. But the point is, Osama bin Laden has long become a symbol. So by killing him this way, he becomes already, in the minds of some Muslims, a martyr. And therefore, the symbolic quality has already been there. Whether he has a place to be buried or not, that's another thing. That's the politics of this killing.
Gotcha. I see.
Do you think there will be any more retaliations from these actions?
It's hard to tell. The interesting thing is that I would say that when you think of Al-Qaeda, it's not the movement that we know in the past. It's a new kind of a movement. It's almost like a network of people. Al-Qaeda is not a movement. It's an idea in some ways. And so Osama bin Laden becomes, the prophet of this idea. And when the prophet dies, the idea has not been killed. And that's why I think the world has to try to be cognizant of this reality.
Right. Well, thank you so much for your comments and your insights.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.